Actually, speaking of your amazing love story with Nicole, you met at G'day Australia. Is that what it was called?
G'day LA.
G'day LA.
Yeah.
If you hadn't both been there that day, would your paths somewhere have inevitably crossed? Or maybe this incredible life story wouldn't have happened?
No, I think it would.
He's been dodging questions about her for at least 2 months. I mean, there was also this incident where somebody asks about her love scenes and he abruptly ends the interview and you could tell that he's angry.
And then what do you know? There are these videos that come to light that seem to show him being flirty with this Maggie woman on stage, who again, like we said, is only 25 years old, and changing the lyrics of songs, a song, The Fighter, that he wrote for Nicole Kidman, changing the lyrics, that were about her to something that was about Maggie.
Breaking news. Hollywood is shaking to its core tonight. What was meant to be a quiet evening in Los Angeles turned into one of the most explosive live moments in entertainment history when rising country singer Maggie Baugh broke down in tears and revealed Keith Urban's darkest secret. With trembling hands and tears streaming down her face, Maggie stared straight into the camera and said, "I can't live with this lie anymore. He's been hiding me, hiding us for years." The studio went dead silent. Then, before anyone could react, she lifted her phone and whispered, "This is the proof." Within seconds, the massive screen behind her lit up, showing never-before-seen clips, private messages, and voice recordings that left fans absolutely stunned. Keith Urban, the same man the world has long viewed as the perfect husband to Nicole Kidman, was suddenly being accused of living a shocking double life. Social media instantly erupted. The hashtag Maggie Reveals the Truth hit over 100 million views within just a few hours. Fans flooded timelines with disbelief. Some cried, "This can't be real, Keith." Others demanded answers, storming Nicole Kidman's Instagram with comments like, "He betrayed you too." Sources close to Nicole say she was devastated and speechless, locking herself away after watching the broadcast. One insider told reporters, "She just kept saying, 'How could he do this to us? To our family?'" Meanwhile, Keith's team scrambled to do damage control, calling the incident a publicity stunt. But the internet wasn't buying it. The tears, the recordings, the emotions, it all felt far too real. Now, Hollywood is divided. Some say Maggie's breakdown was a desperate cry for justice. Others claim it was revenge gone wrong. But one thing's for sure, the world just watched a legend's mask come crashing down in real time. Los Angeles, the city of lights and secrets, fell silent last night. It all started during what was supposed to be a fun, light-hearted live interview. Maggie Baugh, once known for her humble charm, was asked about her longtime connection with Keith Urban, a question she had always dodged. But this time she didn't. Her smile faded. Her voice broke. And then she whispered the words that froze the entire studio. "He wasn't just my mentor. He was my world. And he hid me for years." The audience gasped. The host panicked and tried to cut to commercial, but Maggie stopped them. Her hands trembled as she unlocked her phone. "No more lies," she said. "People need to see the truth." She connected her phone to the studio screen, and chaos followed. Clips began playing. Intimate videos of Maggie and Keith together in studios, hotels, and late-night car rides. Their laughter filled the room. Their closeness was undeniable. In one clip, Keith's voice could be heard softly saying, "Don't tell anyone, MG. They wouldn't understand us." The reaction online was instant and brutal. Twitter exploded. TikTok flooded with emotional reactions and fan theories. Within minutes, the hashtag Keith Exposed hit global trending lists. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. Keith Urban, the man who once called Nicole the love that saved my life, was now being accused of hiding a secret relationship. Then came another alleged voice note, said to be recorded at 3 a.m. In it, a man believed to be Keith said, "I'll see you after the show, just like always. You know I can't stay long, but you're the only piece I have." Maggie broke down completely. Her tears streamed as the audience sat in stunned silence. "He promised me I wasn't just a secret," she whispered, "but I was never meant to exist." The internet hasn't stopped talking since. Hollywood insiders say this could become one of the biggest scandals in music history, one that might not only destroy Keith's career but also reshape how fans view celebrity love stories forever. As of now, neither Keith Urban nor Nicole Kidman has made a public statement. But one thing is clear, this story is far from over. Because when Hollywood masks fall, the truth burns brighter than any spotlight. What began as a routine late-night interview turned into one of the most emotional and devastating moments in modern entertainment history. Rising country star Maggie Baugh, once admired for her grace and humility, stood center stage, tears streaming down her face, voice trembling as she confessed the secret she said had been destroying her for years. "I can't live with this lie anymore," she whispered, her tone cracking under the weight of her words. "He's been hiding me, hiding us for years." The room fell silent. Cameras kept rolling. The host, frozen, tried to cut to a commercial, but Maggie stopped him. With shaking hands, she lifted her phone and said, "This is the proof." Seconds later, the studio screen lit up. Private videos, voice notes, and emails appeared before millions of stunned viewers. The man at the center of it all? Keith Urban, the country legend long celebrated as the perfect husband to actress Nicole Kidman. Social media exploded. Within minutes, hashtags like #MaggieRevealsTheTruth and #KeithExposed dominated every platform. Fans cried, "This can't be real," while others demanded answers, flooding Nicole's pages with messages of support and heartbreak. But the shock didn't stop there. Maggie's next words changed everything. "He made me believe we had a future," she said through tears. "He told me once he was ready, he'd tell Nicole. But the truth is he never planned to." Then she released what she called the receipts. Screenshots of alleged emails between Maggie and Keith's management appeared on screen. In one, a representative warned, "End all communication immediately. We can resolve this quietly if you cooperate." Another message allegedly offered her a payout. "You'll be compensated for your silence." Maggie looked directly into the camera, eyes red and defiant. "They wanted to pay me to disappear," she said. "To erase my memories, to erase the years I gave him." That single line changed the internet overnight. Major outlets picked up the story within minutes. TMZ labeled it Keith Urban's secret love scandal. Entertainment Tonight called it the most heartbreaking betrayal in country music. Even industry insiders began leaking details, claiming Maggie had traveled with Keith for years under fake names, staying in private suites during his tours. Fans began connecting the dots. Old clips resurfaced showing the two performing together, sharing knowing glances, private smiles, inside jokes that suddenly looked like evidence. "Look at how he looks at her," one fan posted on X, replaying an old duet. That wasn't mentorship. That was love. Meanwhile, Nicole Kidman's world began to crumble. Paparazzi spotted her alone in Beverly Hills, eyes swollen, phone pressed to her ear. Insiders say she found out the truth live, just like everyone else. She couldn't stop shaking, one friend revealed. She kept saying, "Please tell me it's not true. Please." That same night, rumors swirled that Nicole had contacted her lawyers and taken their daughters to a private estate in Sydney. Her representatives refused to comment, but photos of her leaving their Los Angeles home, in tears, told the story themselves. Keith's team tried to push back fast, calling the videos fabricated and taken out of context. But the internet had already made up its mind. The emotion in Maggie's voice, the trembling in her hands, the raw pain, it all felt too real. Then, just hours later, the story deepened. A new leaked clip surfaced online, allegedly filmed in a dimly lit hotel room. The video showed Keith sitting close beside Maggie. His voice, calm but serious, said, "You know this can never go public. You know what's at stake for both of us." Maggie's soft reply, "I just want you to love me in the open." That short 8-second exchange shattered the internet all over again. Within minutes, millions had viewed it. Some cried, How could he do this to Nicole? Others defended Maggie, saying maybe she was the victim all along. By midnight, Keith Urban's social media pages were flooded with outrage. His PR team disabled comments, but the damage was done. The story had gone global. Analysts compared the scandal's reach to the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard saga, except this wasn't a courtroom drama. This was raw, unscripted heartbreak playing out live for the world to see. Through it all, Maggie stayed silent after her final words that night. I loved him more than my career. I gave him everything, my trust, my time, my soul, and he gave me silence. Those words hung heavy in the air. Half the internet called her brave, the other half called her reckless. But one thing no one could deny, Keith Urban's once untouchable image had shattered. The next morning, Hollywood woke up to chaos. Every talk show, every entertainment blog, every news site had the same headline: Keith Urban's secret relationship exposed. For years, Keith had been the picture of devotion, the charming husband, the supportive father, the grounded country icon. Now that image was burning in real time. New clips surfaced almost hourly. Anonymous insiders fed the fire with alleged texts and recordings titled The Lost Sessions. In one recording, Keith's voice could be heard saying softly, "You're the only one who gets me, Maggie. The rest of the world doesn't matter when I'm with you." Then another clip, Maggie whispering nervously, "What about Nicole?" Keith's answer, "Don't talk about her here. I've handled everything. You're my escape." That line destroyed what little was left of his public image. Entertainment sites ran non-stop coverage. Some reporters claimed Maggie had saved every message, every voicemail, every late-night confession. Others said she'd tried to speak out before, but was pressured into silence. Old interviews of Maggie resurfaced, moments where she smiled but seemed uneasy, her eyes heavy, her words careful. She was hiding pain behind a smile all along, one journalist wrote. And Keith knew exactly how to keep her quiet. Meanwhile, Nicole Kidman remained silent, becoming the center of a media storm she never asked for. Paparazzi trailed her relentlessly. One heartbreaking photo showed her leaving her LA mansion wearing dark glasses, her face pale and drawn. Insiders claimed she had watched the new leaked videos and was completely broken. She loved him with everything she had, a close friend said. Now she doesn't even know who she's been sleeping next to all these years. As the world debates whether Maggie is a hero or a homewrecker, one haunting question remains. Was it love, manipulation, or the biggest betrayal of all? Hollywood may eventually move on. The headlines will fade. But for now, the world has witnessed the fall of a country music legend and the painful unraveling of a story that was never supposed to be told. Because sometimes, when you build love on secrets, the truth always finds its stage. Rumors began swirling that Nicole Kidman had temporarily moved out, taking her daughters to a private estate for privacy. Others whispered that she was preparing for a $300 million divorce and had already assembled a powerhouse legal team to gather evidence. But then, the most unexpected twist came, this time from Maggie herself. 2 days later, she went live on Instagram, no makeup, red-rimmed eyes, trembling hands. She looked fragile, exhausted, and utterly heartbroken. Her voice cracked as she said, "They told me to delete everything. They told me I'd never work in Nashville again if I didn't stay quiet. But I can't do this anymore." He didn't just lie to Nicole. He lied to me and to the world. Maggie then held up her phone, showing what she claimed were text messages from Keith Urban's personal number, messages filled with late-night promises and emotional manipulation. One read, "You're my secret piece, Maggie. I can't let the world see us, but you know what we are." Another message said, "You knew the rules. Don't make me choose between you and my life." The live chat exploded. Fans flooded the comments writing, "This can't be real," and he played both women. How could he do this to Nicole? Within minutes, the live stream had millions of viewers. And just when people thought it couldn't get heavier, Maggie broke down completely. She confessed that she'd been in therapy for years because of Keith, that every time she tried to move on, he would call, apologize, and beg her to come back. "He told me love was supposed to hurt," she whispered. "He said what we had was special because it was forbidden." Those words hit social media like a tidal wave. Thousands of fans began posting, analyzing, and debating whether she was the villain or the victim. Then TMZ dropped a bombshell, an alleged voicemail from Keith himself. The voice in the clip pleaded, "You can't post this. You'll ruin everything. You'll ruin me. Remember who helped you become who you are." That one clip shattered what was left of his reputation. Sponsors backed out of his tour. Interviews were canceled, and his management went silent. Maybe Keith Urban's career will recover someday, but Nicole's heart? That kind of wound doesn't fade. It becomes a scar the world can see. And as Hollywood watches the ashes of what was once a fairy tale marriage, one truth echoes louder than ever. Even the brightest stars can burn out when the love that kept them shining turns out to be a lie.